a short break, and you are watching Smart Trade right here in Smart 24. And this is where we give you the best of business broadcasting, and it's typically smart business, and where we are looking at a business built to last. How can you build a business that will outlive you, that even if you go for a vacation, or perhaps even if you you phase out of this life, that it will continue to go on. So basically we are talking about business built to last. And right here with us is Mogumi Apo, a business writer, and most importantly, an entrepreneur. And he is right here with us talking about this subject. So basically, we're looking at, so we were just, I think, going into now the deep waters of what building, a business to last is. So now let's, what exactly for any business, from your own experience, what exactly, if I want to build a business to last, what things should I be putting into consideration?
We have to understand that we are talking about the hard things.
Okay. Hard things are hard.
Yeah, hard things are hard things, as we always say. Hard things are very hard.
Yeah.
So there is no shortcut, there is no hard, soft things we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And there is no shortcut. The reason why we talk about it even here is because the opposite of building trust is the easiest part, right?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because if building no trust is easy, it definitely says building trust is extremely hard. And no, it's hard. But you see, hard things pay off the best, right? We can't be looking at how we are going to build a generation, but focusing on what is easy and what is soft.
Yeah.
We have to pay the hard price to do the hard things. Like, for example, when you talk about, what do you do if you want to build something that's going to last? We started already on pointing about, first of all, the vision, the long-term vision.
Yeah.
And you see, that very vision alone guides you and makes you to make choices that are important. You will stop looking at any industry haphazardly, and you stop to look at an industry based on who made the most money last season. You begin to look at an industry in a way of building a system and process that are going to make it actually get to work. You see, once the vision is actually very clear that, hey, I'm going to be here for 50 years, for 100 years, everything changes. The way you see everything changes. Even, last time when I was here, I remember when we talk about the stock market and everything, we talked about deciding to put your company in the Steamlight. We talked about where you begin to put your company not just as a pocket business, but now it becomes a company that everybody looks at, right? Yeah. When you're going to become very serious. Now, you do that after realizing that I'm going to do something much stronger and much is going to outlive me. Many times we talk about what you always call the Philippines anyway. Yeah. That you better have product, people, and the processes. Now, when you talk about what it takes to build a business to last, definitely in my understanding, when you discuss what is business and look into what to do, we are talking about 3 things, which are maybe what people call the 3 Ps. Yeah. Product, people, and processes. Meaning you are going to build a good product that people are willing to pay for. Yeah. You are going to find good people whom you are going to make sure that you make this product to be a success. And the thing which will make you to successfully make 100 people and make the product take over the market is having processes in place. Yeah. Now, of which none of the field is very easy. Because for a person who is already looking at how to simply make money and survive, all they need is maybe they see a nice product. They don't even have to think about adding value in it, right? They just ask, which man I make of this? Let me give you a good example. I come from Ruero district, deep in Chichusa. Where I come from, it is called the home of pineapples. pineapples. I think we have the best pineapples in the world.
Okay.
They come from my area. Now,
I
these
can
pineapples.
see pride for your, for your home village.
Exactly. But you see, my people produce pineapple. Now, what a person who loves making money does, he goes to the pineapple farmer, gets pineapple at maybe 300 shillings, and he looks for who's going to buy the pineapple from him at 500 shillings. Because he has his difference of 200 shillings in profit in between, he's good to go. And that's all he thinks about. Now, here comes another person who thinks of having a legacy, building a strong company that in line with pineapple. They will never think the same way. They will think far further than that, right from that. That's why they will go ahead even to mind about the quality of the product. Why? Even the person who's going to consume their pineapple, they want to retain him for life. Because they are building something for life, right? So because of that, that's why people who are serious in business, who come to buy pineapples from us in the village, who are very serious, we even know them. They come with standards. If a pineapple is not weighing this amount of grams, not taking it. If a pineapple has this deformation, not taking it. If a pineapple is not having this, we don't take it. But the other one doesn't mind about it. Because he's not building anything to last, right? And he has no specific even clientele he's serving that he thinks, hey, these clients of mine are going to consume my pineapples, which I'm delivering to them, maybe in 2050.
Okay.
So
could the issue be more about how you could be having a good product, but most times you find that we have so many good products in Uganda.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, yeah. So what makes these products not really succeed, and what makes the businesses stagnated?
When let me make a small difference.
Yeah.
We have these days we have a country called India. It is coming up to be one of the world's giant economies. Before the Second World War, America was, leading in everything on its own. When Second World War ended, another two set of countries set up to take over the global scale, the global market. That is
China,
Japan and Germany in Europe.
Okay.
They set out the war was over. They had lost the war.
That's
around 1945 plus, 50s and everything.
Yeah.
Japan and Germany set out on a road to become number one, to become something that the world will treasure. The first thing they did, they made sure that a Japanese product is a world-class product. A Germany product is a world-class product. Out of this video, we know. When you find a bulb made in Germany, you know what you're talking about. Yeah. When you find a car made in Germany, when you talk about a lab equipment made in Germany, a suit made in Germany, a watch made in Germany, a shoe made in Germany,
or Italy,
a shampoo made in Germany, that rings a lot.
Yeah.
And they set out to it, to make quality product on its own as a country, people were really waking up to that. Japan starts up after like, hey, we're gonna do something. It is time to work on our economy. And the Japanese set out to build fabulous machines. I'm in logistics industry, so it means we have vehicles in the company. And when we go to buy spare parts, we hear people telling you, should we give you this spare part from this country, or you want Germany? Or Japan original? And we were like, I want Japan original. Like, Japan original spare part is, let's say, 100,000. But the other one is 30,000. Which one should we give you? And they were like, how could the Japanese spare part be 100,000 and the other one is 30,000? Okay, Japan is Japan. You take it and you are sure and you are guaranteed that it's going to be. Now, when somebody has such a standard,
There's a phrase that Steve Jobs came up with some time back. Someone asked him, why would I choose an iPhone of all the products? And I think the answer that he gave really fascinated me. He said, because it is an iPhone.
The reason why you should pay for an iPhone, because it's an iPhone.
Yeah.
Now, that's the, you realize that the product issue is very key there. Now, let's talk about now back home in Kampala, in Uganda. Many times when I meet people as well, myself, sometimes like, hey, my company is gonna be the best in the future and everything. Then always you go back and you trace how much effort, how much money, how much understanding do they have and invest in the development of their product to be the best.
Yeah.
That's very key. Okay. For example, in the section of my company where we have where we transport people, who hire us private and do everything, I have made it a point to make sure that I invest in customer comfort, because our customers also love paying for comfort as well. And because of the long-term vision, I may go make some money from the business, maybe 1 or 2 million shillings. I come back, I'm very happy to invest all the money back into the betterment of the service. Yes. And next time a person uses the same service, like, wow, this is better than last time. And the reason I'm doing that is very simple. I am trying all my best to invest on the product and service, that whoever uses it will feel that they don't have any option for the future except me, right?
Yeah.
And when we talk about products, the first P, product, that's very key. People, I would give this as a powerful advice that you see, the moment you make a decision that I'm gonna build a company that will outlive me, you have no option and plan B.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you get all the money you can, all the time, all the effort you have and the brain to make sure that your product, your service is the best on the market.
Yeah.
Because people love paying for the best. We see in the video we show here, he mentioned something about Nokia building the best keyboard on phone. And he said that when we were buying Nokia phones in 2002, 2003, 2005, we never wanted to know whether Nokia's share price or whether Nokia makes profits or not. We never wanted to know whether Nokia, we only knew Nokia was a good phone, good product, right? So, and
I think that gives a detailed that gives a description of what a customer really wants. They do not care whether you're making a lot of money or little money, but the most important thing that they care about is is you satisfying their needs or impressing them or even amazing them.
No, let's not talk to customers.
Yeah.
What they need. Let's talk about what we need from what we buy.
What we need from what we buy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You wear nice suits.
Yeah. Maybe.
If you went to anywhere, you buy your suits.
Yeah.
And the best suit you wanted to buy, the seller tells you that probably you are going to only pay him 20,000 shillings, let's assume. You'll be very happy to pay. It is so affordable, so cheap, so everything. Now, you don't mind whether he makes money or not, no, sir? What you need is a good, good product.
But Paul, customers are kind of different. There are those who are looking for quality. There are those who are looking for, of course, a cheap thing. But let me hope that you're just giving an example.
Even those who pay for cheap things, they actually think, in their mind, actually, they think they want quality. They're actually paying for value.
So they think it's the same thing as...
They would want to get 1,000 shillings, buy a shoe of 1,000 shillings, and then maybe wear it for 4 months, which is impossible because it's cheap. But now that's in their mind. If there was a way to get a shoe of 1,000 shillings and they wear it for 10 years, they'll be very happy. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist.
Let's say 10,000. There is no shoe that is...
Okay. Yes. Okay, 10,000, whichever. It doesn't matter. But the point is here. When you see things in the customer's perspective, especially if you are going to be a customer of a company and you are going to be there for long term. The question is, what are you looking for into that? I can give a good example of a famous brand, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Personally, you will find me making an order of, I think for the past 10 years or more. Each time you've asked me which soda I should take, I've always said the Fanta. No. I love a Fanta, their Fanta. Now, the most interesting part is here. This soda has increased in the price over the years. At one point it was 400 shillings, then we bought it at 500, then 800, now we buy it at 1,000 shillings on the local shops. And we are okay with buying it, right? Now, the number one reason why I have always wanted to take Fanta is because, according to me, it's a nice soda. And it has never changed its taste. It has never changed anything. I mean, each time I take it, I'm like, of all the sodas available, this is very good. The day I would take Fanta, and the quality of the product is not satisfying with me, I'll be out. Let's come to local businesses. Yeah. Most people have businesses like maybe selling produce or having a tailor shop. Yeah. Many times, a person will say they are building a business. They will get a product which is rotten because they put in their money to buy it in the first place. They don't want to lose it. And they will find a way of mixing it with other products that they give it to a customer. I have seen people do that to me, to you, and many people. And you know what's funny about news is this. Bad news spread more than good news. And it's a law of nature. And the moment you do that, you're out. Currently, there's a crisis going on in the world about when the Ethiopian Airlines got an accident in the air. And that famous jet, the Boeing 737 MAX, even people who never knew that the names of the plane now know it. Now, the only reason they know it is because it made an accident. Yeah. When that plane was released, it hit headlines of the global business, and people were like, "Wow, a fabulous aircraft!" I personally I'm in love, with logistics machines, like trailers, buses, aircrafts. I'm a person who has been studying much and paying attention to that jet since it was released in 2016. Okay. And I have had 2 flights on that type of jet before. Okay. Very nice jet. Now, when it was being released and with all its good features, nobody was shouting about it. When something bad happened on it, 2 accidents, everybody knows about it. Yeah. And it may take years to move out. Now, this brings it back to the business. That a person sells bananas, they know very well that these are ripe bananas. People don't want ripe bananas, right? But because they put in their money, they're like, hey, let him take. And the same person who thinks is building a business is going to last for generations. I say that all the time. I see people in my own industry. I mean, you will go to hire maybe a vehicle for hire for your produce. They know the engine is faulty and everything. They will not tell you, and they will definitely hire it out to you. And the product. Yeah. And when a customer experiences such a product that is in a bad situation, they don't want to be back. Right? And that's where problems begin from. So my point final, I'm saying that we have to pay so much attention on the product or service we are offering to the people to make sure that we are offering the best. The best of the best. That's what Japan and Germany and other countries did when they saw America succeeding. And today there's a record that a German machine is what? The best. A Japanese machine is the best. And they knew when you do something the best, people will shift and look for the best. And let me tell you, even people don't mind paying a higher price, even for the best. Finally, when they know that what they are paying for is actually the best. Yeah. You get the idea. Yeah. The second thing we talked about was...
we talked about as well, you mentioned something about, we're looking at the 3 Ps.
Yeah, we mentioned about the...
And the first is the product.
We talked about the product.
Second is the people.
We said about the people.
So kati bwembani na business yange nga kati abantu tugambye abantu bakulu nnyo okubanga ozimba business egenda okuwangala. Kiki oba otegeeza ku ekyo?
Okay, I think when I say people, sometimes people may think customers or whichever. Now
Yeah,
this time
yeah.
round, I'm talking about the team, the people you bring on board.
Yeah.
Emirundi egisinga obungi abantu tulina ekyejo n'omuzannyo nti tuteeka sente mu business naye netumala gafuna muntu gafulana ajja kole naffe, and that's very terrible. We make that mistake always, that you get your money, anywhere you get it, put it into your business, and then you take people who work in the business haphazard, you get them haphazardly without care. You find somebody hiring somebody simply because they're their friend. Another one will hire you because you are the son.
Kati mugume kankubuzeeko. Kati gwe mu business gy'okolera, oli mu transport. Kakati mu business y'oboga nti nno koteekemu mukyala wo oba muganda tokikola.
Bw'aba ng'alina ebisaanyizo naawe by'olina gwe simanyi.
Okay.
I think we have to get this thing straight.
Yeah.
When we are looking at building systems that are going to last, we have to pay attention to whom we bring on our team, right from the staff. Because you are the first staff in the company, of course. And we assume that you have a smart brain that is more interested in making sure the company grows, and you understand the principles of how to deal with everything that the company grows.
Yeah.
Now, the second thing which makes more meaning is who do you bring on the team? Who do you bring on the team? As a partner, as a staff, as a fellow worker?
Paul, I was actually, I'm also a very good follower of of an African billionaire. He is called Strive Masiyiwa.
Strive Masiyiwa, wonderful man. Yeah.
And he was saying that one day, I think one of his relatives called him and told him, you know what? I know that you have, quite a number of jobs, but I need you to fix my, I think my daughter or something, my son somewhere.
To work in the company, yes.
And the guy told him, you know what? No. I don't have, that authority, and I do not have anything to do for you. All I can just, ask of you is just apply like anybody else through the CEO or through the person concerned. And the guy was like, what? You are the owner of these companies. Now,
let me say this very clear and square. That I see, as as people who end up doing, unserious businesses and unserious structures, we make the first mistake of bringing people on board because, number one, they are broke and they are crying. You see, I've seen people who are crying for a job. I asked some people a question, hey, people always say, Paul, can you get for me a job? I'm like, why do you want a job? You say, I'm not working. I need to start working. That's why I'm looking for a job. And we're like, okay, which kind of job? Any, as long as I can make what? Some money. And then somebody's like, but what qualifications? What do you think you can do best? And no, I don't mind.
I don't mind. Anything can do.
I can do anything. And of course, to me, that turns me off. I'm like, hey, I'm not dealing with a very serious person. So
basically, from the perspective of someone who wants to work for you, anyone that wants to work for you, for example, Uganda's issue with with unemployment among the youth and all that. Just briefly, just a word of advice. How can they become employable? Just in about a minute.
You see, it is very easy.
Who would you wish to hire and include on your team?
Now I will decide this way.
Yeah.
And because it begins with us, the business owners.
Yeah.
I personally, I can never hire anyone on sentiments of where they know me. Maybe they are from my clan. Maybe they are from my village, of my tribe, or because we are my OB or a friend or a neighbor. A person who gets a job has to be qualified. I happen to have somebody working for me. I will give an example. So I received a call from someone in the family of mine that, hey, so and so wants a job. And we know you are the chairman of Apple Logistics Limited. I'm like, no, bro, no worries. But I told them, that the kind of job you want him to do, I'm not responsible to giving it. He wanted to work as an assistant on one of the trucks doing some supplies. And I said, in the company we have somebody who does that. So I said, I can refer him to the other guy who recruits those people, but I'll not refer him as my relative. I will just give him contacts so that he himself contacts the other one as a stranger looking for a job. That, hey, I was told somewhere that you hire people in this. Can I come for the interview? And if he passes the interview, he'll have the job. If he doesn't...
So it has to be on merit.
Yes, it has to be on merit. Now, the point is here. You see, nothing has killed our businesses like sentiments. I always see people set up a business, and the person working for them is their daughter. And I ask a question, why your daughter? You know, there is free labor, and it is terrible on both sides. You, the business owner, you bought somebody, number one, the number one reason why he's on board is not because of the ethics of the company and the goal of what you have to do, but because they know you. Meaning that they have a room to make mess, and they'll be forgiven for two reasons. Number one, you know them very well. Secondly, they also know, and you also know, they are not the professional.
Okay, Paul, let me just put this straight. So you wouldn't in any way hire your daughter to be, to work with you, or you wouldn't give them a position in your company, so that's what you're trying to say. You wouldn't give them any position as long as they are not
when you use
qualified.
the right word, you use the word give. Yeah. The answer of giving, nobody I give.
Yeah.
Because even me, I'm liable to be fired from my position as the company CEO. If at all I don't qualify to do the best job. If we find somebody in the company who can do my job very well, I mean, they'll take over and I will have to be fired. I'll step aside, right?
But you're the founder of the business. How?
It doesn't matter. The rules also work again on me. I can take another position which is not maybe being the CEO. The point is here that my daughter or my wife, she can afford to be on my team if at all she is qualified to be on the team. If she's if she applies as a professional accountant and she does not report to me as maybe it's my wife and then with her business, but she reports to the committee and everything, good. If this is the thing, and that this should go in line with the recipe, which is processes. When you look at people, hiring people, first of all, we have to agree that we're going to hire the best people for a job. You want, it is about accounting position, you get somebody who has the capacity and the qualification and the experience to handle money as an accountant, not simply because he's your relative. And most of these businesses, let me give you, and you see, we have to think big on this and deeper. Let's assume you hire your relatives, and they're successful. You successfully do it, and maybe they work very well. How about if your company now becomes big and you have to hire 2,000 people? Are you sure you can locate 2,000 relatives to do the job for you? I mean, not even 5% of them can be. It is impossible. Now, when somebody is looking for set up a business and they are looking for somebody who is nearby, I hear things called free labor. You see, she can work for me for free, and that's also a big problem, because even if your daughter is working for you, they're supposed to be paid their salary in full and on time.
And
otherwise,
as
the
everyone
business.
else. And working as everybody else.
They work as everybody else, they are paid on time as everybody else, and the exact amount as everybody else. Because if they don't, what does it going to mean? It means that the day you don't have people who are working for free without you paying them salary, you'll be out of business. And that's the number one reason why I've seen businesses collapse. Because some businesses, I call them artificially inseminated businesses. They survive on artificial insemination, not natural insemination. What do I mean? They make money as long as the artificial forces are available, which are not out of, which are within their control, and they are the ones who do it. For example, you are maybe hiring 3 people in the company. One of them is your daughter, the second is your wife, the third is your uncle
Niece.
or your niece, whichever.
Yeah.
And and these three people can understand if this is not doing well, they don't take salary. The reason why you cannot hire Julius is because you know very well from day one that Julius, you don't pay him for 6 weeks, he will leave. So if your business is seeming to be doing well because you are having all these factors which are not professional into play, you are out of the game completely. And it has affected most of us on the street who want to live. The moment these forces turn away, for example, the moment the moment your daughter gets married and she moves away, you no longer have an accountant because she has been the accountant, because she's your daughter and everything. Because there was no merit in choosing her for an accountant, you wish she can come back. And you've seen parents begin to struggle with kids. You can't have to stay, you have, and then you have to remain under my arm. The girl wants to go, you don't, and then problems begin. But the system said that, and it goes hand in hand with the last processes.
Yeah.
You know.
So
according
we
to
have looked at products, and now
we are looking at good people. But what
Good
makes
people.
them so effective, and even how to get them, is having a good process. There must be a process in order
or a system.
of how even to get good people. And that's why you find that companies have a systematic process of interview, of finding good people.
So in business yo how ofuna otya abantu abalungi awo.
Nja kusooka nzireyo we natandikira. Twane advantage olumu nti bw'oba otandika business kati nga mu industry yange saakigwamu bugwi. Nze kenyini nali njikolamu ng'omukozi part time. So nali nina abantu bemmanyi. I knew some people
Ng'omukozi obanga boss.
like my fellow no. Before I even became the boss, I used to work in the logistics industry for free for a long time. So nga kyenkola nti amazima nti nina emikwano already benali nkola nabo ngera mumanya nti oyo kwa naine mukozi mulungi, just a good worker. And the moment I set up my own company, there about 2 guys, they were willing to come and join me and work with me, you know, and I got that one. So etero ntandika efanako bweto kati mu process nti natandika okumanya nti omukozi omulungi aba alina bisanyizo ki, you know, kyekola kyokka era okiraba era neobodinga neyomulaba nti omusajja bwobanga onoyo omuntu kisooka kati let's say the person has to be a driver, he has to have a qualification as a driver. Now on top of that, he has to have other qualities. Maybe he has a little knowledge of the engineering process of the machines talking about. On top of that, he may have maybe some other skills like maybe marketing, meaning that he can drive the vehicle. At the same time, he can spot and understand some mechanical issues which are general. And at the same time, because he's driving a vehicle which has goods, he has some marketing capacity to make sure that he can actually do a good job with your client. Now, but don't stop at that. I trained them. Even those who came that they know what they're doing, they're not doing exactly what I found them doing. I had to train them. And one thing which I do at Apple Logistics almost every week, training. No, you know, and there are many ways of training. Sometimes one-on-one, you can get your manager or somebody works for you, and then we talk. No, you call. There can be about 3 guys, and then you guys begin to discuss how can you best do your job, right? And realize that the process of enkola y'okuba nti mweyigiriza kwongera gye musobola okolamu ekintu obulungi ekyo tekikoma. You do that every day, all the time. You are trying to learn new things. You train them. Now, buli muntu alina ebintu byatunulira mu muntu, by the way, nga munoonya. But when you are looking for sometimes a staff, a worker, you can look at you will look at of course their personality, right? And you will look at their skills, and also including their loyalty to you, right?
Is experience so important in this case, or to you maybe as Paul?
Maybe in life, you know, I have learned a lesson the hard way. According to my thinking and the experience on running the company, Experience is overrated. I mean,
Experience is overrated.
Yeah, people just overrate that I'm having an experience because each time we hear somebody talk about experience, they're talking about the past, not the future. They're talking about what they have done. They're not telling you what they're going to do. And according to me, I came to learn a lesson. I'm like, hey, if I'm going to get serious, I'm going to find smart young people, and I train them.
Smart young.
Do. Yeah, I always prefer smart young boys, young girls and boys, and I train them what to do. I train them myself because according to my belief in business and my experience, that the best people for a job are the people you have trained yourself.
Okay.
And actually train them myself.
So that is your philosophy.
Yes. Like when I get somebody and they are willing to work, they have the energy and they have the drive. They want to be successful, you know, and we get them a job at the company. The first thing I always do, and I'll take them through, is I'm going to teach them how to do the job very well. And I have it, and I mean my team does it very well. And we help each other on making, and we train each other on how to do the job very well. And when you train somebody to do the job very well, they do things, right? Not as somebody else indoctrinated them or made them to think that's the way to do things, but to do things in what we call the 2019 way.
Okay.
You know?
In other words, you're trying to, to absorb, the culture of your organization into them.
Exactly.
The whole,
in fact,
the values and all that.
In fact, if somebody, like I've had people, I'm sorry for this, and this is personal, please, it's not maybe true for everybody.
Yeah.
I have had a problem with hiring people who are very old and very experienced in their business, in their job.
Okay.
For example, somebody will come and tell you, Paul, there's nothing you're going to tell me I don't know. Look, I have been doing this thing for 25 years. Now you are coming, you're telling me that I know what I'm going to do. And sometimes you're like, okay, maybe he knows, let me see. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a 2 weeks temporary contract.
Yeah.
And we see.
Yeah.
And always, most of the time, they can end up disappointing you. And the reason why they disappoint you, it's clear. They are coming on board with the past knowledge, past experience, wanting it to count on it. Now, the question is that when it comes to finding good people, according to me, my definition of good people, I define a good person as a person I believe has good life values, and then I have trained them to do the job very well.
Okay.
And I invest my time as much as I can, my money and everything, to see that I help this person know what to do.
Okay.
Then it drives you to the last thing, which is processes.
Yeah. Yes, we're having about 12 to 11 minutes now to the top of the hour. Perhaps we can just give, we can go through this process bit, more faster. So.
Okay. One day, let me tell you a story. I visited some friend's business.
Okay.
And they had not paid the salaries for 2 weeks. And everybody was very hungry. You could even see from the receptionist, she was very angry. So I go in and I go talk to my friend. I'm like, hey, why don't you pay salaries? Then he gave all the reasons. Things aren't doing well, money is less, money available to run the company, and we can't serve, blah, blah, blah. So I asked him a question, that money isn't enough. Tell me, according to your company's structure, who is supposed to be paid first?
To be paid first?
If at all you have 5 people you pay, and maybe each of them gets 500,000. If at all you only have 1 million and you only have to pay 2 people, what do you do? Whom would you pay first?
Myself.
And it is not a question of you saying maybe according to the system I'm going to pay somebody. I mean according to the system you created in the company.
Yeah.
Okay? Whom does the system say has to be paid first? And like, well, not as such, everybody gets their salary, maybe we can break this money, everybody gets something. I'm like, no, wait. Whom do you pay first? Now, the reason I was insisting was this. A system, what you call processes,
Yeah.
it simply means that when I set up a business, I have to go ahead and break it down to the details of how things work. For example, if we have money, like I said, little money, who gets paid first and who gets paid last? Secondly, if we have revenue coming in, money coming in per day, what do we pay for first? For example, if stock is finished, right? Let's say you are in a restaurant or you have a shop. Some stock of soda is finished. Another problem, electricity and the water is finished. Third, Revenue Authority wants taxes. And there is money. In what order do you pay these people? Whom do you pay?
First.
Which do you go for? Do you go and buy stock and then you directly pay the water bills? Do you pay the landlord first? Or do you pay first? Now, it does not matter. The question is not what happens when you pay so and so fast. No. The question is process.
Process.
Is there a process? Because the reason I say this is that the moment you put routine priorities, that like for my sake, we have a system at Apple G6 Limited. The people who are paid first are the people who receive the smallest salary and those whom we consider to be doing the lowest job. The guy who fixes my tires, I'm sure will always be paid and is paid first. Now, that is to me. And the executives can be paid last.
So there are two words with that can mean fast. There is F-A-S-T and then there is F-I-R-S-T.
I think I should say I mean both of them. Okay. People who are paid both fast and fast. Okay. But I mean the F-I-R-S-T, fast, paying somebody fast. Yeah. And they have to be paid, of course, very fast. Both of them can work at the same time. Okay. So you know that I always advise small businesses, especially my friends, that you see, you need to write down some of these things, so that when you are away, even if you are away or not, you can hire Julius, take him through the manual, and he will use this order to even manage a company for you. And that's why sometimes I travel, I sometimes like, I spent about a couple of days, like a week in South Africa last week. And whether I'm around or not, nobody at the company feels it. Why? They don't follow me, they follow process. The process is very clear.
Systems.
Systems are very clear. Nobody can say I wasn't paid because Paul wasn't around. Nobody can say we did not maybe pay for this or we did not bank at this money or whichever because he wasn't around. No, I'm not the process. The process says it all. So when you have a good product in place and you've selected good people, you've trained yourself to do a good job for you, and at the same time you have processes of how things have to be done, most of the time the company is going to run more effectively.
You know, Paul, I've been, like wondering how someone can build a business and then perhaps they go live in another country and perhaps, the business that they created here now is moving on and even going greater heights. So basically, this could be a question of after creating the product and the process and getting good people, the process is the one that runs the.
Actually, if everything runs on a human being in his absence or presence, no business. You are simply making money, but there's no business you are building. You are simply a dealer making money, but no business you are building. Okay. You see, it is not a good business, a serious business, not until there are processes which are being followed. And one of the things I've learned the hard way, that you've got to start these processes from day one when you're still very small. And like I gave you two examples.
Could this be related to a business model? Could processes be related to a business model?
Yes, maybe how you run it. Like for example, how you run your business. We call it maybe it could be your business, but because you see, the business model is created by you, and the model is created by you, and what you create out of combining the three. That's what you call a model. For example, for some company, they are always like their number one priority is actually innovation. Like they innovate new products like Apple does, or phones, or whichever all technology companies do. And you realize that, hey, that's a business model. And then when it comes to this, that we realize that for a small business, what they're supposed to be doing, according to my thinking and my experience, is that you have to start very small on these issues. You have to answer questions on how most of the activities go on, not by you as an individual, but mainly following the process. Like I said, who do you pay first? You know, the question can be able, the process must, the written program of the companies must be able to answer. What do we pay for first when we have a challenge? So when the three are combined and they're together, you have a great product, you invest in it very well, you invest in people, and doing all you can to find good people, you train them, and then they follow a process which is very available. Everything is taken care of, and that will be the number one challenge you shall always have forever.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah, Paul. Well, this can be actually this discussion can run on and on, but basically we are limited by time. And so basically, you may give in your final remarks to the viewers.
All right. I would just say that when I look back, if I can go back, maybe, and start in business afresh, maybe about 10 years ago, there are a couple of things I would do differently. And one of them, I always think about it, I would find one good business, you know, and I would make an effort of investment of time and everything to make sure that I build the systems that are strong enough to make it work forever. I would never make that mistake of trying to just see how I can survive day in, day out, just running around for money. And because of that, I think I would be 100 times far successful. And I would waste several of time that I end up actually wasting on my own. So if you are there, I would say that you have to get down on these things and say that you build yourself good products, you know, you offer the best product and service possible, you are the best. You work on being the best. And then you offer the best service, you invest in finding good people, you take care of them, and then you create good systems on how everything runs, not just running on you. And without any doubt, you can have a much better future. To which I can testify, I have seen the difference between the two, because at least I actually lived long on their side, and then I've lived even on this side. So that way we shall end up having a bigger Africa for us. Remember, we are building a $10 trillion economy in the next 10 years. So the challenge is really big, and we have to make sure that Africa becomes number one. Exactly.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Well, dear viewer, it's been a very wonderful discussion. And there are three things that I have actually gotten with me today, and that is having a good product, having good people, and having a very good process. With that, we will be able to build businesses that will last. Smart Trade comes to you Monday to Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. With me, Julius Nsubuga. And right here with us has been Mugumya Paul, a business writer and also an entrepreneur from Uganda, who calls himself the entrepreneur from the streets. Well, thank you so much for watching us. See you tomorrow, same time, Monday.